2002 I lived here. It's now 2025, so yeah, it's a quiet place to live. I mean, if you like taking your dog on the beach or something, or you like walking on the beach, basically that's all it is. I lived in London when I was a child, and Halifax where I was born. But like I said before, Withernsea, because it's a quiet place, I like it. That's what I like about it. It's nice and quiet. It's a small community compared to other places I've lived. Halifax is quite a large town. Hull's a large city, but I do prefer living here because it's quieter.
I don't go out a lot other than just for the walks in Withernsea. I like the sights, the cliffs, and the outskirts are quite nice as well. I suppose Withernsea is very, very quiet, a little dead almost. You can go out and just be alone, I think. You don't have to interact with people or come across big crowds of people, which is perfect for me. I suppose I walk a lot on the promenade in Withernsea, so that's where I find myself most often. And I suppose the high school, that's normally where most of my memories are here, so yeah.
Family have lived here probably for the best part of 300 years. My family had businesses here through the sort of like 40s and 50s into the 60s. Crikey, Withernsea was a lot better than it is now.
They haven't really done a lot to Withernsea since I've, first started living here.
Since I've lived in Withernsea, it hasn't changed at all, basically. It's just the same setup.
I wouldn't know, it was a lot more lively then, I know that. A lot more people, obviously the train tracks, the pier, so there was a lot more going on there.
There's a lot of things that have disappeared, which we had. Things like the railway station was still there. There was the boating lake, which was up near Teddy's nightclub, which is subsequently gone as well. I mean, the Cosy Cinema was still there. That was still a cinema, as a kid. The other cinemas were shut. But my grandfather used to own them. He had two cinemas, and he used to manage the Cosy. There was a bomb dropped in Withernsea like during the war. It dropped a little bit further up because my mum, she was in the other cinema, which was like the Kinema, which is now one of the amusement arcades. She was in the cinema there watching a movie called The Reluctant Dragon by Walt Disney, and the doors blew open when the bomb dropped. Boom, and the blast came in. Like there was a gentleman, a couple of people killed. I mean, one of them was I think he was a bus driver. He was on his way. My granddad then was speaking to him, and they separated. They went the separate ways, and he went one way and my granddad came the other, and the bomb hit, landed, and he got killed, unfortunately.
Most people who live in Withernsea have come from Hull originally, or from West Yorkshire, because they want to be away from the city, they want to be on the coast. Obviously, if you can commute using a car, and we have public transport as well, but most people drive. But a lot of people have come from Hull to live in Withernsea, just to get away from the city, basically. Well, obviously, Withernsea compared to Hull, Withernsea is a small town and it's quiet, where the city, obviously, you get a lot of crime. When you walk around Withernsea, people actually say good morning to you, which you won't get in the city. A lot of people like that. Just like to be away from the... They see people in the street in the city and they don't want to talk to them, really. But here, people are quite open, so it's a friendly environment.
I prefer Withernsea because it's quieter. It's not as chaotic here. I feel like it's very peaceful, which fits perfectly for me. Like I can just go out for walks here, which I don't do when I'm in Hull at all. My family often ask me why, and then I show them pictures of Withernsea, and they soon see why. It's just a lot of houses in Hull, which is kind of the case with most cities nowadays. It's just a lot of housing, a lot of people. Even Beverley Road, I've heard, used to be really nice back in the day, whereas now it's kind of just there's lots of flats because it's so busy down there. Lots of off-licence stores and things like that. So yeah, not very nice in Hull.
Yeah, the shops are quite basic, but people still come here on a weekend, like, because they just want to be on the coast. But shop-wise for the locals, it's quite basic. Well, there's better shops in Withernsea, but obviously if you've got a car, you want to buy something decent, and obviously you have to travel to Hull. Same as people live here as well. If they want to live in Withernsea, they still work in Hull and just commute back to Withernsea.
It's employment-wise, it obviously around here it's very, very little because it's mostly agricultural. So, the bulk of the business, around here is agricultural. So again, it's very, very, very hit and miss. There's not many major employers locally. There's the caravan sites; they do employ people, but again, they're only seasonal. So it's the farm and the agricultural side which employ the biggest in this area. Its size, it's obviously it dwarfs Withernsea. I think it's something like, I don't know, 6,000 people live in Withernsea, and compared to Hull, which is probably like 400,000. I don't know. It must be getting close to 500,000. I wouldn't like to say, but there's a lot of people in Hull now. So it's obviously it's just its pure size which gives its advantages in that regard for employment and everything else.
I suppose most of the jobs you'd have to go to Hull for most jobs. Hence why I'm living there now for university, and then when I go into music teaching, which is what I want to do, I will have to be in Hull for that most likely. Even if I do come out into East Yorkshire, it will still have to be in Hull. If you want to go to college or university, you have to really leave Withernsea and move to Hull.
Basically, most towns and cities in the United Kingdom are as well the same. Cities are busier than the towns. Withernsea is a town. It's a nice, quiet place. I like it.
I think there's not as much going on now as there was then. I think there's more sort of like shops that dealt with tourism, where we don't really do that so much now. You can't really just rely on summer, very long winters in Withernsea. It's just the way it is. You can't go for the winter. I mean, the winters are very long. Probably 4 caravan sites, which do obviously provide a lot of business for the town. I think that's getting quieter now, though. So I think the prices, it's sometimes cheaper to go abroad. I suppose it's day trippers that are the bulk of the business. I mean, I know a few friends who I work with in Hull that will say, "Oh yeah, I'm off to With, I'll go get them," or they'll come for the bike night on the Thursday nights, or they'll sort of come for the day trippers. I suppose are the bulk of the business. I would have thought. And the lighthouse was still working when I was a kid. It still went round. It still had the light, and they still used it. And in fact, I went to school with one of the kids who was his dad worked for Trinity House. Who had he was like the keeper, the lighthouse keeper, if you like. And so I got to go there quite a bit. They shut it in, I don't know, what it been, 1976 or something. I can't remember. That was too long ago. So it was closed. But my mum remembers when she lived on Lascelles Avenue, you would be able to see the light coming across the curtains, where she lived, which was quite fascinating, really. And I do remember it working. I remember the light working, which was quite good. It's an incredible piece of equipment. We've lost so many things and never replaced them, like the Crazy Golf. As simplistic as it is, it was a feature of the town. And I think some of these small features that make it a seaside town, when they get erased and you lose those, it's hard, and you don't replace them with anything. You just end up with, and that's the problem. You sort of lose this. It just gets chipped away until you just end up with is a town with some arcades and loads of takeaways.
Me personally, Withernsea, I just like Withernsea because it's quiet. There's nothing. It doesn't actually offer anything other than it's somewhere to live. But I just prefer it because it's quieter. There's less people. Yeah, just a quiet place to live, and a friendly place to live. Like I said, when you're out walking, people will say hello to you. Where, as opposed to a city, they'll tend to ignore you or just dodge you altogether, because they don't know who you are. But yes, because it's a small community, everybody knows everybody, so it's a friendly environment. It's a nice place to live.
I suppose although I'm living in Hull now, I suppose Withernsea is home, isn't it? It's where I've lived for 17 years, so even though it's not where my parents are, it's still kind of home.
It's lovely to come home to Withernsea. I try to travel quite a bit, and I do like to. It's nice to come back. It's nice to come back to Withernsea. It's one of them things where it's home. You know, I mean, like I said, I have a lot of my friends are here, and I have a lot of. I don't know. I guess it's just a nice town. I think there's a lot more in the tank. What in Withernsea than what There's a lot more to happen. I think yet. We've still got. This is only half the story. I mean, it's a shame. It's like I said right from the beginning. We've lost like cinemas. We've lost all sorts as we've gone along the way. We've lost a lot. But again, cinemas, and railways and stuff like that. It's a progression, I guess. Time moves on, but I still like the town. I still think it's a good town, and I've been to a few. So